Hello, how are we doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome from all the way from Northern California. Just want to check in with you guys. My niece and I came up to attend family functions, which is the 100-day memorial service, my brother, which I mentioned to you guys the other days. So I'm here in Northern Cal, in a small town called Stockton. So Stockton is my home base. When I first came to America, we settled here along with other, probably about 40,000 of other refugees here. Altogether, I think there are about 50,000. So this little town here, known to have second largest Cambodian population. As many of you follow me, I am Cambodian, born in Cambodia. It's a bittersweet to be here with family in such occasions, you know. So just want to check in with you and make sure that you're all doing well. I am okay. You know, it's a bittersweet. I went to I got here last night about midnight. We left Las Vegas about 5 p.m. So it took us about 6 and a half, 7 hours, or a little over 7 hours on a good, traffic. The traffic was clear. It was no major backup, so that was really nice. So we got here late and visited family a little bit, and I took the couch to my mom, and it's good to see my family. Hi, Grayman. Favaz, hello. How are you? How is the country? I know that Grayman, you said you're from South Africa, correct? How are we doing there? How is it? It's cold. Football gutter. Hey, who won? I was eating out at one of the local restaurants yesterday in Las Vegas, and I saw quite a few football games displayed. PTC, MMN, hello. Nisel, hello. Thank you. Mommy is good. How are you? That sounds familiar. Nisel. Yes, I live here in Stockton for about 40 years. We settled here in 1980 up until 2020. So I relocated during COVID-19. At the time, I was a program coordinator for nonprofit organizations. I run Asian smoking cessations and then health outreach component. So I run 2 projects. So, and then I in 2020 we did the census. Remember the census if you live in America? From India, Fafaz, hello from India. How is India going? No more flooding. Oh, you're from California? Which part of California, Grayman? I thought you're in South Africa. Hold on, I might be. I made mistaken because who told me from South Africa? I'm not sure. I apologize, agreement. So so I settled here from Cambodia since 1980. When I came, I was 17 years old. So if you're good at math, and you can figure out how old I am right now without without giving out the answer. So Stockton has been my home for a long, long time. I received my education here. I met the father of my kids here. Though he's long gone, history made 6 kids, single mom, worked 2 jobs, been there and done that. So there's a lot of memories here. I met a lot of people here. I helped so many life here, so many memories, so many grateful hearts here. In fact, I came here. I only call up 2 people, 3 actually, that I'm here. And if they find out that I'm here, they will say, "Okay, how come you don't visited me?" It's hard to visit like 1,000 people, you know. So it was interesting because we got here, and my sister-in-law, she wanted a small, just a family gathering. So she has large family, so am I. So we gathered here at her house, and I came to make food, and so it's big pot like this. So I made shrimp sour soup, which is good. It's traditional Cambodian soup, and then I did the spicy chicken. It was it was not spicy because a lot of people didn't want chili in it. So if I will cook for myself, I will like pack with chili. Split. Well, I do a lot of yoga. Okay, if you're talking about split, in a position of splitting by yoga, I can do about 90-degree angles. And I do a lot of yoga, so I'm very flexible. Um, yeah, I yoga keep me fit, keep me at good mental page or mental pace, because yoga does a lot of good health. You know what I mean? I lost a lot of weight doing yoga. For a while I stopped doing it because I was getting too thin. And so I'm the kind of person that does not because I have scale to step on like every week, so I know where I'm at. So if I'm a pound or 2 over, and I work toward it. But I think I'm okay. I'm happy with it. I think I'm at the weight where when I was single. I think so. Same weight when I was single. Very petite, wearing size 2, or I don't want to be size 0. Where I started it was not. If it's 2, it's like too small. But size 2 is good. I used to wear size 4. It's the largest size of my pant. So right now I'm an X small, which is fine. I'm happy with that. At my age, wearing that size I'm fine with it. I'm happy with it. It's a lot of hard work. I didn't just get to size 2 by sitting doing nothing. It was a lot of determination, a lot of work, a lot of physical activities, and watch what we eat and when to eat and how to eat it. You gotta, because you love food doesn't mean that you can shower yourself with food. You gotta be careful. If you want to be, you don't have to be like supermodel, but then we can certainly be yourself. And it started with a lot of, like I said, I always mention that self-love. I believe that self-love is like the most important, it's very most important and empowering mechanism for ourselves. If you love yourself enough, you will do whatever it takes. Okay, so get a mirror, the kind of mirror that you can see the whole thing. Don't get a mirror that you're going to see down here. You want to see the whole thing, so you know that where you need to modify, which part of your physical being that you need to work on. So people get mistaken. No, I don't want to see myself. No, see yourself and see what you need to fix. um, Greener, hello. Um, I did. So I I'm not gonna lie. I've been married twice. So the first one is Vietnamese descent. The second one is Cambodian. So the Cambodian one, I sent him back to Cambodia because he couldn't. No, oh yeah, oh you remember that? Well, yeah, that one he's still in Vietnam. He visited Vietnam with his wife, so I think he's stuck in the flood. So, yes, I that one I left him long time ago, and yeah, the good memory is that he left me with 4 kids, and the awful stuff about him is that he didn't pay a penny of child support, so I have to be on my own. And then often when I saw him, we don't mention about child support because it gets real sensitive. So I just let him get by with hundreds of thousands of child support. Well, so now we don't argue about it. So the kids are grown. And then the second one, I exiled him back to Cambodia because he got in trouble with his mistress. So he didn't want to go to jail. So I said, okay, let's do a one-way ticket. Bye, sucker. Don't come back on this side of the world because I will put you in jail personally. So he had left to Cambodia since 2007. So all his children are grown now. So I know. The story about Cambodian is not as funny as story in Vietnam because the Vietnam, the toilet thing is in Vietnam. The Cambodian people don't do that nasty stuff, But I know people who live along the Mekong River, they bathe in that Mekong River, they shit in that Mekong River, they fish out of fish from the Mekong River. It's like a recycle part of the world where everything recycled up to the poop business where, you eat the fish, you poop out to the fish eat your poop, you eat the fish that eat your poop. So it's like, that's why it's funny because it's recycled. It's not even funny, but then it's nasty, but then that's how it works in the country. So I'm not making this up. But if you do go to, I don't know about now, I haven't been to South Vietnam since 1994. So I know there's a lot of change since, but then I do talk with family member from South Vietnam. They said, "Oh no, we remember that the little canal that I drove you through or walk you through the rice field. Now they make nice road where the car go right into the village, and then the canoe that we used to ride at like this much from drowning, they don't do that anymore. It's a road accessibility now. So they said that we don't have to do any of that nasty stuff. But then but I don't know about the fish eating poop eating fish, and human eat fish eating human poop. It's like go in the cycle. It is. I know I mentioned that, Greener. It was funny, but then nasty. So when I do shop at Asian store, I will read the label very, very well. If anything made from that region, I'm like, I would like, I'm cool. Let me get some some dry bread. So yeah, it is. I mean, you got the trouble to learn certain things. If you cocoon in your confinement into your own state, you never know what people do on the other side of the world. You got to travel. You got to go see it. You got to go to where people eat cow poop cow poop, eat dog, eat cat, eat lizard, eat whatever they eat. They eat everything that crawl, down to this animal that had no feet, they eat them also. But then I learned recently that that in Cambodia, Thailand, they have earthworm farm. So they harvest earthworm, they sun dried it, and they weigh it, and they import it they export it to China. And I still have to do research. What do they do with those earthworm? So somebody's told me that they make woman lipstick out of it. I'm like, that tastes really, really good. I might be eating it also, because that slime, that thing that maybe it is, but so when you hug somebody, a friend kiss somebody, make sure that she does not have any lipstick on, because you might be pucking on the earthworm that was farmed from Thailand or Cambodia, or I'm just saying. So I'm wearing one, so yeah. So this and that, it was like very, very pricey too, So I had a lot, as many of you, that I have a lot of earthworm behind my backyard. Yeah, thank you, Nasil. It is. But I said, if you want to see things that happening around the world, things that you never imagined, you travel. I would love to travel to Africa, to visit those tribal people and see how they cook the food and eat the food, and oh yeah, and then well, I learned a lot from visiting South Vietnam, and the street food, and some of the area where they serve dog meat, which is like that's their delicacy. It's not like something that they cook every day. So I remember when I was in a village where men wearing the night headlight and they go out hunting. I said, "Oh, what do you hunt? You hunt do you hunt uh, hogs, or you hunt deer?" I said, "Oh no, we hunt jaw, jaw, which is dogs." I said, "What?" "Yeah, we hunt jaw." I said, "Oh, you hunt dogs. So what do you do with the dogs?" So then I get my answer by travel further to another side of the town, or another town where we stop by the street vendor, where there you go, they have coil of snake in a clear jar like these, like all kind of snake coil up inside that jar, and then with that snake, it's where they fermented the snake in the white wine. So it was like one of their favorite drink. One shot and you should be good, stay young forever. It's just like what you call it? It's just like longevity medication. Where they believe that the venom from the snake and all that stuff will help get rid of all those ill ailments. So that's what they believe in. So I'm looking at all kind of snake coil, and like a good size jar like this, the snake coil around it, and I'm looking at it like, what do we do with this? I said, would you like one shot? I said, one shot of what? Of the snake drink? No, thank you. So we traveled down further into different town, where my head started turning, because we do slow driving and turning. So, ooh, what's that? I asked, are those roast pig? It didn't look like pig head. It looked like, yes, it's they call it it was jaw something. It was quite jaw, something like that. So then it would have been nice if they cook it without the head, because when they cook the head, when they do barbecue the animal with head, right? So then the animals, it's nice and crispy and just like perfect roast pig, the whole roast pig. And then the ugly part is that they roast it with the head, and then when they roast it so perfectly, and it pull the it pull the muscle of the dog head, and then now you see the dog teeth, like I'm like, oh, so we appalled by it, but then in their culture it's normal. It's normal. So I had a hard time doing that. So then when my ex-husband visit his family, so he liked to drink. So among his old friends and family members, and remember that they were cooking curry in the back of the house. So the kitchen's always in the back of the house. In the country, the kitchen never inside the house. The kitchen's always like the annex to the buildings. So it smells so good, the curry, they use heavy curry, it like smell awesome. I can smell the coconut. But the only thing that I smell was like disturbing, like it's not cow meat, it's not pork meat, it's not snake, it's not chicken, it's not alligators. So I said, oh, that is smell that I can smell. Like, so then, yeah, so they will curry the dog. In Cambodia, a certain part of Cambodian or nation, Cambodia, they do consume them too. It's just like a normal meat. It's it's normal. I mean, they believe that all animal is edible. Like I was saying, my dad mistaking skunk for squirrels. What can I say? You know, but you know that they got spiked by the skunk. So it was funny. I told that funny story the other day. Yeah. If you know what skunks are, if you're from another country, you don't know what skunk are. So skunk is just like a version of squirrels with that little patch of white on the top of their head all the way through the tail, usually black. The whole wing is black. But then they have this like white stripe running from the head down to the tail. So the tail's always up running. And it does not do anything to you unless they are threatened by. So when they're threatened by something, then it spray on you. And that skunk spray, oh, it's so stinking. I remember driving through a through a through a like a rural street, and somebody had like run over a skunk. Even the skunk's been dead for days, but it perfume lasts forever. I mean, it stay on in the air, and then we drove, and right away, the skunk perfume got in the car, and then it got on your hair, it got on your jacket, and it smelled forever. Even you get home, you throw everything in the laundry, it just still smelled the skunk. And that how bad it was. It's like oh, it was like it just was smelling some of those men cologne, it's just like some of the men cologne. I'm sorry, not just men cologne, female cologne too, because I'm allergic to a lot of perfume, so it was like nasty. No, they didn't. So I left them long time ago. I raised all the kids, so there's 6 of them, with 2 jobs. It was a lot of work, but I survived through it. So that's why when people talk about stuff like that, it gets to me too. But I learned to put it behind greener. I mean, there's something that we have to do as a person, as human being, because we no, I lived through it. Raising 6 kids was not easy. It was struggles. And that's why sometimes I get disappointed if my kid said, "Oh, you did this, did that." I mean, uh, I said, "No, I know I probably did a lot. I probably made a moment where I lost my temper here and there, but I didn't abandon anybody. I got everybody graduate from high school and make sure you had place to live. We may not have the luxuries, we may not have all the brand name clothing, and make sure that it's clean, it's serviceable, you have food, work a lot, and come home and still have hot meals. So I did everything I could, to keep everybody from safe and protect them from harms. And it's a hell of work. And I often mention I spent 34 years from the first down to the baby one. I mean, I got everybody piece of high school diploma. They went on and have their life. And I, so I'm a grandmother. So I begin to enjoy myself more now. I learned that nothing important than stay alive. All of those that you go through, all the trauma, all the drama, it only but a lesson to teach you. I mentioned that a lot. That's what I mentioned in my book too. Is that if you survive your your turmoils in life, your all the problem that you have, that you survive through, you will survive anything. First of all, you have to overcome the fears, overcome the the skepticism, overcome the subdue to emotion. You know, a lot of people, I believe that a lot of people in my predicament would have been confined into mental institution. You know, the thing that we went through, you know, the abuse and negligence and all that, you know. But then because I went through far worse than bad marriage or living with people who are irresponsible and mean people. You know, I went to refugee camp. I went, I I escaped genocide. And so those things taught me, those things prepared me, refined me to like to deal with anything. So that was like it never easy. So today, you know, I'm a happy woman. I done my job. My kids are grown. So I began to enjoy myself. I began to love myself more. I feel great. I look great. I took care of myself. You know, I do everything that to help me stay longer. If I live to be 100 plus like my ancestors, I wouldn't doubt. You know, because and I often mention that and I do, you know, like today I at the Buddhist temple. I'm not a Buddhist faith. I'm Christian because the family are Buddhism. So a Buddhist, so I support them. You know, I went to support my family. I cook donations and do everything that is necessary to keep my family in touch with their faith. Because a lot of people who are Christian background, they be skepticism, they be discriminating against other people believe. And I don't do that. You know, I respect my family totally. My mom is Christ. If she never got converted, I do. So, so I'm stay steadfast to Christianity, and my family stays steadfast to their Buddhism. I support them. When my dad was still alive, and I would drive him to the temple, he cannot perform some of the ordinance. I perform on his behalf because my dad he was a paraplegic. So I not paraplegic. He was paralyzed, waist down, you know. But he got the strong grip though. He would like be punching if he's not happy. So I have to be careful around him. So not that he's intended because you know he lost his good sense. So all the year I was caring for my dad. He was like a 2-year-old kid. You know he's like 2 years old. Just that he's an old man. So it was good to see people at the temple recognize me. So this old lady, good friend of my mom, she keeps staring at me. I didn't say anything because she's one of the sweet woman. She said, she looked at me and she stared and says, for a while, I said, Auntie, oh, it's Vanna. I said, well, you don't recognize me? Did I got so old and I only left there 5 years ago and you don't remember that? No, I know it's you, but I just want to make sure that it's you. I remember your forehead. I'm like, remember my forehead? Oh, I lost some hair there, so yeah, you remember my forehead? So she laughed and she gave me the longest and the biggest hug. She said that. So that, oh, your hair look great. You have less gray than I am. You know, I have to cover my gray. I said, oh no, my hair grew back. She said that she had blood cancer. So I said, yeah, why you left us? Because I used to drive her to the doctor all the time. So when I left this town, I left a lot of people who become independent, no, dependent on my help. So when I left, a lot of people were was were dead and didn't get their proper medical treatments because due to the language disparities or the cultures disparities, and there's a lot of it's a lot of impediments, you know, for someone who does not speak the language, and for someone who at that prime age where they don't speak the language, the families are not living with them, they don't have transportation, they don't have interpreter, so they don't have a lot of access then to social service or medical care. So when someone who's always there to support them is gone, they had just it just they just don't get the care, they don't get the service they need. So he said, yes, when you gone, I got real sick. So I ended up in the hospital and they found out that I had blood cancer. So they have to do treatment on me. So I lost all the hair. This grew back. And then when my hair grew back, the gray hair didn't grow back. He said that my hair started to grow younger. I said, oh, cool. You look younger. And she was happy. He said, I know, I recognize you, but then I was afraid to approach you. He said, why are you afraid to approach me? I know you for so long. You're like my auntie. So do not ever be afraid. And you can call me anytime you have my number. Yeah, I know all this time. He said that when I left, she missed me a whole lot because if I'm there, she would have got her health detect early. And that's not the only person who said that. There's another gentleman who was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. He was. I didn't hear from him for so long. One day, I thought, why don't I call up this friend of mine, which client of mine who became friend. So I said, yes, sister, while you were gone, I stopped going to see my doctor because you're not here. So I got real sick, and now they told me I have stage 3 cancer. I'm getting my chemotherapy now. I said, yeah, so see, you like to wait until something bad to happen. You should have do intervention. I mean, not intervention, prevention. Right now you do intervention because you waited for something to happen so badly. So that's the thing about my people. A lot of Asian people is that they don't like to go see the doctors. In my mom too. In my mom's case, I have to get power attorney to get her to go see the doctors. I just took over the presidency of decision making for her because now then they find out thing wrong with me, then I'd be stuck with medical appointment. It's true, I mean, the last few months she'd be stuck with medical appointment. She had 2 eye surgery, got cataract, one eye's gone, and now she's diagnosed with not only cataract was removed, now it's glaucoma, so for life. And a hearing test and a few other things. So I'm not going to disclose too much, but so when I'm here, I'm trying to educate my community about healthcare system, about accessibility, about referral resource, and about the interpreting services online. They don't have to have me to say, well, yeah, the interpreter online, they are mean, they're not friendly, they're so hurried to, they don't talk in the way that you speak, they're so disrespectful because we don't speak the language. They think on the left, this left, salt. It says salt, flour, sugar, tea, and coffee. It's just a little panels. So this is my former brother wife kitchen. I'm in the kitchen. So I waited late because it was noisy. The family left, and because the little cousin had not seen each other for so long, so they were loud. So I have to wait for the family to settle down. So I come in to check in with you guys. So so this is the thing with my culture, that people don't believe in medical services. They don't believe in medical care because they're so used to like homeopathic. They believe in the herbal. They believe in home treatment. They believe in a coin rubbing. They believe in the suction. I mean, if all that failed, then yes, emergency room. It's always like that. Even when my mom get uncomfortable or feeling a little dizzy or a little fainting, say, oh, come and do the coin rub, so they'll do the coin rub, all the bruises, and then, oh yeah, I feel better now. It's almost like if you have not tried coin rubbing or the suction, the suction is a little glass and then you heat it up and you place it on your um, on the back or on the forehead and or anywhere that you need the suction. I think they do that in the sport medicine. Now they believe that the suctions, the coin rubs now help with the muscle relaxer. Um, so now that so let's roll back to 1980, 1984 with all this Asian coming into America that are only familiar or practice this homeopathic, all this coin rubbing, the suctions, and you see the little circle on their head, a little circle on their neck, and they got they got in trouble with the law enforcement. They want to know what happened to them or who beat them up. So I remember I used to translate for the doctor's office or at the even at district attorney office, and they want to know, what happened to them, who beat them. I said, that circle on your head, the circle on your neck, all that, So then I started to, yes, the kids are all adult grown. They are grown. My baby, she just turned 23. My older, she is 38. 38. Yeah, six of them. Because I married twice. The first marriage, I have four kids because he wanted a little boy. They wanted a boy. I ended up having too many girls. So I left him anyway. So after I have a boy, I said, sucker. So because of that, he was resent. He took resentment on me. So he left the country. So to avoid child support, I got court order to pay child support. He didn't show up to he didn't show up at the court, so he decided to left to Vietnam for many years. So because I'm not on public assistance, so no child support reinforcement for me. So then I couldn't collect it because he's not in the country. But he's back in the country now. I saw him here and there. He's not here. He's on the other side of the country. So the second marriage, I have two kids, and he was no good neither. He was a Casanova. He liked to woo women. He's a good looking guy, and he was a lot younger than I am. So he liked to woo women. He took too many lovers, and the last one he took, he got in trouble with her, and she got him arrested. So he didn't want to go to jail. So at the time, I was still married to him. So I said, well, then go back to Cambodia then, because if he had not returned, he would have gotten deported anyway, because he was a green card holder. So I got him one-way ticket to Cambodia. I make sure he got on the plane and left. And then he missed I told the story before. I don't like to tell it again, but then to make it short. So he left to Cambodia, and then he missed a court date. And day later, and there's a bounty hunter came out to look for him, and the sheriff come and look for him, and they turned my apartment upside down. I said, well, did you find his bone? Wear it under the bed, So I tell him that he's not here. He left the country. And they tried to bribe me to go to Cambodia to bring him back. I said, no, he's no good. I'm not bringing him home. He can die and disappear there, safer for women. So I took care of his woman for a while. He took another love affair, and she now with two children with some dude. So yeah, that was some crazy story. I don't know why I end up with bad people like that. I don't know. People believe that, oh yeah, you have karma. There's something, the karma that you probably did something bad to them. Really? According to Christian teaching, we wouldn't have this previous life to cause all this karma. It was in the spirit world with God. In spirit we can't do anything wrong. Only with this immortal that, which one? Mortal, immortal. That as human that we can commit all that criminal in the mind, in the action. So then, okay, if you guys believe that I caused something wrong to these people, then I repaid it in full. Done. get out, exit, go have a life. So it's a long time ago. I mean, the scar is still there. I feel it sometime, but I don't let it get to me. Hey, see, right? You get to talk to each other. Sonia, who's Sonia? Sonia, Sonia, Vana. I'm Vana. If you talk to Sonia, Sonia's on here. Everything's okay now. I'm good. I'm cool. I survived through all those tribulation. And what I learned about all this is that it's strengthen a person. If you don't die from it, you survive it, you'll be good for life. Okay, you will have story to tell, you would have book to write about, and you can go back and reminiscent about it. It's because it's part of us. We all go through it, right? I mean, believe me, I don't think that any soul in this world that does not go through certain predicaments, certain turmoil, certain catastrophe in their life. We all go through it. Even rich people, with people who were born silver spoon, with people who were born with a lot of money, they go through the same thing. It's just that they don't have to worry about not having money like some of us who don't have enough. That we struggle financially. Some of us, some of us struggle all the elements. Okay, we financially, physically, mentally. What else? I mean, so many suffering. And if we live through it, we'll be good for life. And we thank you for the purple heart. I mean, you purple heart and and the blue heart. Hello to all of you too. Today, just checking on you. I cooked early this morning, and I couldn't do. Um, my family are private people. They don't want to be on camera, so I respect that. I don't want to get my family on here and be upset, so I didn't get chance to video too much. I took picture here and there, so early today, I woke up about 6 and make food. And in Buddhism, they believe that by making food and make offering, is that the diseased person would receive the deed, will receive the merit of the food, the offering. Okay, so and was at a Buddhist temple. So I visited a small temple in Lodi, California, a small city adjacent to here. It's about 20-minute drive from here. So it was nice to be back to the familiar place. Like here, I can drive with my eye closed. I know so many corners here because for 30 something years, I drove through every corner here through my job. I drove through the neighborhood where the cop don't want to be. I drove through the area where the gang infestation. I drove through the little rascal. I drove through the little a little gang area where people can't get out the turf. I work with the family. I work with them. And most of them now are grandparents. So when they see me, it's always nice compliment and recognition. It's really good feeling to be here when people love the fact is that through they heal through support. They heal through the mechanism of counseling, support. Because in my job, if I work with people, I make sure that I do their need assessment. Yeah, we do. We go through trials in our life, tribulation, deal with it. But some people had hard time dealing with that, because like I said, I went through the genocide in Cambodia. I went through the camp life. I went through bad marriage. It's not just bad. I mean, they really crazy. So that's why I don't let people treat me the way I allow myself to be anymore. I got smarter after I learned from these people. I'm done. You're never gonna get chance to do that again. Not again. You're done. I'm done. Not you done. I'm done. So when I'm done, you are gone. So that's what happened, you know. I love it. I love the fact that I'm able to survive, to stay alive, and be able to tell you some of this. You know, this is not prefabricated story. It really happened. You know, I mean, the the abuse, the cycle of abuse will go on. You know, we have to leave and we have to get out. And the longer you stay, the more damage to your mental health, your psychologically, you know, and mentally, physically, financially, it drains you. So the earlier you recognize the symptom, the earlier you get out, the better chance of surviving and have better life. If you think, oh, I can't leave him because he the supporter or she the supporter, and or a person know a held job, and if we leave he or she, and that we never gonna survive, don't have a place to live, no. So it's true. A lot of relationship we either depend on him for financial support, for stability, or on her. You know, it's both sexes. It's not just male female. I often talk about that. You know, it's all both sexes, and the man and female. Can be the victim or can be uh, it can be the victim or it can be the abuser. You know, I mean, it's in both. It's in both sexes. So it depends on who you run into, you know. So that's why I always suggest that if you start a relationship, okay, don't. I know how you can be so doting, so in love, so like you just want to give the whole you completely 100%. You know, don't do that. Don't give 100%. Give 50%. And don't just jump in and move in so that you can secure the relationship. It's not like that. No, 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 no. The best thing to do is to take it easy. Okay, you don't have to lay down. You don't have to sleep with someone to keep a relationship. Okay, do a trail. Do like a try first. Okay, takes 3 months, 6 months to a year before you make any kind of decision, before you move in, before you quit your job because he's secure or she's secure your place in life. You know, don't do that. If you have a job, keep the job. Because if something happened to you or happened to your relationship with he or she, you will have something to depend on. Something, oh yeah, he's good. He had a mansion. He drive Ferraris, you know, or Benz, whatever it is. Okay, but just remember that everything changed, and it changed the most unexpected way, even to the most handsome, the most reliable, the most faithful people. You know, things change. You change. You know, not just him change. He changed. You change. So everything changed in this life. So then, what I learned about women is that, oh yeah, you know, he's good. He's got everything. He's packed. He's so. And then what happened when things didn't work out? You didn't have a job to fall on, pregnant with babies, so what you gonna do now? You're stuck with the baby, stuck with no job, and what you gonna do? So about 99% of those situations where people stay in a relationship where they felt that they have nothing to fall on, they can't go back to family, they can't go back to their family because it's a shame, they try to hide it, the state of denial, you know, I mean, all that stuff I went through, you know. It took me a long time to recognize it. It didn't take me once to learn. It took me twice. So that was a lot of trials. So it's a lot of damaging, you know what I mean? Yeah, so a lot of years spending with bad people that, you know, will reciprocate with love. You know, it's always about calculating. It's all about controlling. It's all about empowering. All about all of that negative stuff. You know, I mean, with my second, he was really really bad. He exhibit this control by disable me, by giving me no chance to work, and try to build more baby, make me a baby so I can stay home, so I don't get job, but he won't take care of us. And so it went on and on and on, you know. I mean, always excuses. And I'm the kind of person that do not like to leave a relationship. I like to to fix it, you know. But then, and sometimes people cannot be fixed. People cannot, they won't change because all this behavior is modifiable. Like I said, everything in this world is modifiable. For certain health issues that we cannot modify. So the rest of the stuff is modifiable. It's just people's attitude about controlling. So a lot of men and women believe that by having babies will keep the relationship together. It's not true. No, don't believe in those theory. It is not. I experience it. That's what I believe. That give him a son or daughter that the desire that would be good. No, it wasn't like that. It never like that. Baby does not keep men and women together, or woman to woman and man to man. It does not. It only give you more responsibility and somebody to add on to your life and to be responsible to share that life with you for the rest of your life. But do not believe that having children will keep marriage or will keep relationship. It does not work that way. Maybe in the great grandparent era where they don't believe in the divorce, or where they're so religious that they cannot divorce their wife or husband because they they believe in what's called supremacy, or they believe in the culture where divorce is not an option. If women divorce their husband, then she get punishment, or she get killed, or she that's what happened in a lot of cultures when women had no right to leave their family, to leave the husband. So she stayed in the worst relationship. It happened in my culture. We taught that women don't have any certain right. It's like happened in China, with the one-child policy of a woman and men cannot have more than one kid. The government reinforced that one-child policy. In my country, we were taught that we were to be benevolent, to be respect to the in-law, what happened to you and the in-law, and that when you're married to the men's side of family, then they owned you because they pay for the dowry. They spend money on purchasing a wife for their son. So therefore, it's just like purchasing. I don't want to say slavery, okay, but if a woman is married to a man family and she move in with him and make sure that she take care of his family too, that's it's a little bit too much, and that's what happened for many centuries. But it still happen now too. My cousin were like that, in Cambodia. So it's a norms, it's a cultural norms. They don't see it any other way. They don't see that it's abuse. They don't see that it's oppression, coercion. They just say that's normal because it happened everywhere. So it become normal. It's like a normalcy. It's they they get abused. It's normal. A woman can't go anywhere because, like I said, it started with their dependency. When you depend on somebody for support, for financial support, for all the support, then leaving that person would be like, how do they survive? That's why in my book, I mentioned that, we need to empower women, that they need to get education, they need to be resourceful, they need to step out of that boundary where it's prohibited. They need to get themselves educated. They need to get involved in politics. They get to be, if you don't get involved, then be aware of what's going on in the politician world. Because everything that we deal with is politics. It's run by politicians. The whole country, the whole nation is run by the politician. If you don't think that politics play such a terrible role in your life or in your country, you're wrong. Because each time when we have new administration, new presidency, prime minister, new king, new leadership, it affects the societies, it affects the family, it affects the livelihood, it affects the immigration, it affects everything. And if we remain in the ignorant stage, then let everybody else do the job for you. You don't talk about it. You're just like, yeah, I don't care. It does not affect me. It does. It affects all of us. Oh, it doesn't affect me because I'm not immigrants. Really. I'm just going to sit there and not affected by that. You turn on CNN, CBS, and NBC, Fox News, and does it not affect you? You say that, oh yeah, send them all home. Send all of us home, and who's gonna be here? Nobody's gonna be here in America. If you send me and everybody home, then we're not gonna be here. Only the native people will be here. They will be too lonely. Who's gonna run those buildings? Who's gonna run the social service? Who's gonna run everything? Who's gonna drive us? There's not enough Native American to do all that. This nation is not about one nation. It's that's why they call United States. I don't care. I mean, in China they have people from all kind of world too. In Thailand and Cambodia, there was. It's not just native people. I mean, not just in America. I mean, the immigrants happen everywhere. In Thailand, for example, people migrated from China originally. Even my great grandparents, I often say that my great grandparents are from China. They migrate to Thailand. So I'm part of those societies where people said, oh yeah, they had no nation. They came from slavery country, Okay, my family are part of that too. It was a long time ago. No one knew about until that happened. So we all came from, we all immigrant. We all got children. If you're Christian, if you're Buddhism, then you believe differently, that you came from another world, that you're reborn from whatever species you were born into. If you're a good person and you're born pretty with beautiful face, beautiful eyes, and all that. If you're not, then you're crippled. That's what they believe in. I'm not putting down anybody according to the belief. Oh, narcissists, you cannot. No, narcissists are the worst people. I went to the management training, learn about how to deal with the extrovert introvert behavior. Narcissist is one of those people that don't believe that they do anything wrong. They always like blaming people. They like to blame people. They like to act. They like to play victimize. They don't see anything wrong. They can be criticizing people, but if when they get criticized, they're like, like crying baby. I deal with those too. I have something like that in my family. I want to mention no name, but then they do. But yeah, narcissists are very difficult people, and it is sadistic behavior. It's very, very wrong, but then they don't see it. It's mentally affected them. Narcissist people, if they get diagnosed, they would be like schizophrenic people. We have a little bit of our mental issue. All of us, we're not perfect. We have a small scale of mental illness. Believe me, I have too. It's just that I'm not in a high scale. I'm not saying I'm perfect. No, I'm not. I work with people who have traumatic experience, war traumatic experience. I work with people who are the genocide survivor, which are my people. We survived the genocide. I didn't go through all this Holocaust, but I work with people that affect me. Many years ago, my mom, we live here, so we live in a government compound at Oak Park, which we house about 500 Cambodian family here. It's a government subsidiaries, and it's a long history how this organization came about. But make a long story short, so we house and we work to provide the services for people who live in the compound and people who live in the county here in San Joaquin County. So my mom had this old lady. She always come to my mom, and they eat together and they socialize. Sometimes they take their shot. That's a livelihood here. So people visit each other to chew tobacco, to smoke, to drink, to socialize, to eat, and talk about their Khmer Rouge experience. So this lady. So when I moved to help my dad had taken a serious ill that left him paralyzed until the day he died for 16 years. So I'm always in the kitchen cleaning up, and then I often hear her say, now, well, if my baby was alive, she would have been 30-year-old, would be 29 years old. I turned around and said, oh, Auntie, what happened to your baby? He said, oh yeah, I got pregnant during the time of Khmer Rouge, and when we were liberated, we escaped. we went through that minefield. We have to follow exact steps so that we won't step on mine and detonate it. So a lot of people have traveled through that trail, and whoever cleared the mine, the landmine, would have been dead. And he said that there's still fresh body, the bone shattered, the body still shattered, the flesh and the bone is still hung on the tree, the clothes is still hung on the tree. So I said, so what happened to your baby? She said, well, I was at my full term. You got pregnant during that time? I said, I did. I got pregnant. So, I mean, it was like I got pregnant. So when we escaped the Khmer Rouge to Thai border, I had my baby on the way to Thai border. She was born on the landmine trail. So then what happened to the baby? I said, I left my baby on the trail. I said, you did what? Yes, because the baby cried, because remember they went through the Holocaust for 4 years. They didn't have food. She was like scrawny, just bone, skin and bone. She got pregnant, and when she had the baby, there was no nutritional in for her, so there's no milk. So the baby cried for milk, and she cannot nurse the baby, so she wrapped the baby with whatever piece of cloth she has, and she left the baby on the trail of the minefield. So I said, you resenting? I resent all my life. So why didn't you bring the baby? I said, I cannot bring the baby because she cried. If she cried, the Khmer Rouge will hear us, and then they will come and kill us. So I have to save my other kids, because she had like 6, 7 kids that she brought with her. And when the newborn was born, she said that I sacrificed my baby so that the rest of the kid can live. And she cried, talk about it. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was like, it's hard to hear, but it did happen. She left her baby on the minefield trail to Thai border. And then she have to talk about it every day. And she passed already. She passed many years ago. Her husband passed too. I said, wow, that's not the only time that people do that, because they do. I met another lady who picked up baby on the way to Thai border too. Said, yeah, some of those people who don't have children, they want children, so they pick up baby that left on the minefield trail. It's like the most horrible story, like, wow, how do you leave a newborn? Well, I said, have to do it, otherwise you cannot save the living. I mean, the other kids. So, because baby cry, it's just like I was telling the other time about the Mekong, the Mekong kids were the Lao and the Myanmar people from the country of Laos. They have to submerge under Mekong River to get to the border, because they can't come on boats, because the Communist Party will kill them if they found out that they were leaving the country. So what happened is that they're trying to carry the baby on the back, but then the water was too deep. So sometimes the baby would drown. Sometimes the baby would just like survive from the drown, and they brain dead. And a lot of that happened when I didn't find that out until I started working with adult daycare, where there's a lot of Hmong children who are adult who had disability. It's like a mild brain trauma. So I started talking with the Hmong people, from Laos. I said, tell me a little bit about what happened to your son, your daughter. I said, oh, my son was a baby, or my daughter was a baby at the time when I left country of Laos. We have to swim across the Mekong River, and the Mekong River was too deep, and we have to submerge under the water, and the baby drowned. And by the time we got to the another side of the river, he drowned too long, and the brain is out of oxygen. So he became disabled. It was like a horrible story that you don't have to go through it. Just listening to some of the story is like traumatizing. It's just like, that story about my mom's friend who left her baby on the trail, whether she get picked up, whether she got eaten, I don't know. And but the mother never stopped talking about it. And then about the Hmong people who had kids who had mild, severe brain dead because they have to hold the breath if they drown too long under the water, and by the time they get to the other side of Mekong River, either the child is dead or brain dead. So and then what's left of them are kids who are deformed, who who never get a chance to enjoy life. So they attend the program, adult day program. I used to work with the agency who run the adult day program, so I deal with a lot of people with challenges, who do braille, who do American signs, so it was some of the things that I learned, like that's what shaped my life, because all the things that I learned from people, that how they survive, how they live to tell the story, like I am, live to tell the story of those crucial moment in their life, that between life and death, and they're able to carry the dead body of the kids and the unalive children, or never get chance to bury the dead, just like the Khmer Rouge, a lot of, and I think one of the story that struck me most when I think I told it before, that if you have not heard it already, it was very very sad, because this is from the mouth of my cousin who survived the Khmer Rouge. Um, it's hard to hear, I mean, I'm getting emotional just to tell you guys about it, because, you know, um, that's not the only woman who left a baby. I heard so many stories about women who left a baby on the trail. They rather sacrifice the babies than themselves, what I mean? Because, first of all, how did you get fertilization if you don't have nutritional enough? How do you even lay down with a man to get pregnant when you don't even have a place to lay down? Oh, there was some story. It's not funny story. So I learned from this gentleman. He's my former worker. He got to tell me a story about his life in work camp, in the labor camp. So during the Khmer Rouge, they strip everybody down to bare minimal. Everybody dressed the same haircut, in uniform, black and white. That's why they call Khmer Rouge. So he was in for the whole period of times, almost 5 years of life, working, building canal, building the reservoir, and for like a spoonful of watery rice or porridge, we call it. There's no salt, there's no seasoning. It's just like, so that's why people started to eat everything that crawl on earth. Now I see in Cambodia eat grasshoppers, eat beetles, eat cricket. I never seen them eat stuff like that before until the Khmer Rouge taken over. People started eat shit like that. I'm sorry, I mean, I was born in Cambodia, and we didn't have to eat those stuff. There's plenty of fish, there's plenty of game meat, there's plenty of everything, the fruit and vegetation, there was plenty. And when I discovered people started eating cricket and eating, well, snakes and everything else, I'm like, oh, I understand why. I never condemn my people for eating anything that crawl, because if we are going to be hungry for 5 years, we're going to eat anything we will to survive, because you're not allowed to eat the food that that they're grown on the field, in the field. You're not allowed to eat vegetable that you've grown, because it's belong to the government. They call ANGA, the agency. They belong to the government. They control the whole thing. So everybody would come to that broken camp and have a spoonful of porridge, nothing but a few grains of rice and waters, and no meat, no salt, no nothing. I mean, we all need iodine in our diet. So for 4 years, what remained of people was skin and bones, like a walking death. It's just like horrific image. The reason I said that, because before I left the refugee camp, there was a large influx of people who arrived late during 1979, 1980, where they were liberated. So a lot of those newcomer who I gotten to know where they came, they lost all their hair. Their stomach was like, what you call those, edema, like bulgy. Um, their eye hollow. They lost all their ear, just skin and bones. And I remember when they delivered them to the refugee camp that I was in because they were full in the other refugee camp. So they delivered thousand of those newcomers who make escape. I mean, they didn't even have energy to even walk miles, but then because they have that determination to live, to reach to reach uh, safety, so they force themselves to walk. So some just collapse and die along the way. And so many corpses, they just walk, cross over the corpse. I talked to some of the survivors that like they're walking on dead body, they're walking on the body that was shattered by mines, explosion, landmine explosion. Those people who didn't make it, they die on the way because they couldn't make it because they didn't have enough energy to walk. Sometimes, so it was a horrific story, but then so that's why I was grateful that my family escaped early, that we don't have to go through what millions of Cambodians went through. So, but it affected me because I work with those people. So then at the refugee camp before I left in 1980, I got to meet a lot of the people who came late in 1979, where they came across the border and then Thai government delivered them to our camp because a lot of people had left the camp to come to the third world country. So there's some room left. So they keep bringing these newcomers who suffer from severe malnutrition, medical attention. So um, some of them were so sad because they have not eaten for so many years, and when they saw food, they started eating too much, and then they die, because their digestive system shut down. The whole system shut down, but they're hungry. Their mouth is hungry, but they eating too much, and their body are not receiving food. So there's so many people die from eating because they have not been eating so much from so many years, maybe 4 years, almost 5 years, and all of a sudden they see food, they started eating, and they die from eating, and all of a sudden the government realized that by giving the food, they die, so they started to do the IV, the intravenous feeding with the IV, and started to nurse them through the IV until the hair grow back, until the skin started to grow back, until some meat growing back on them, and like at least 3 to 6 months of intensive care, and they don't have the hospital to do all that. So I remember where they just put tent, and the government provides some IV intravenous injections and allow them to get some feeding through the feeding tube, and when they heal enough to eat solid food, and then they're able to consume food. And it was sad, I mean, for a teenager, they have to go through and seeing all that is like, it's more than ability to comprehend and cope with. But for me to be able to like shut it down and cope with and come to America and start a new life, it take a whole lot. It take a whole lot, So I this is the first time I talk about it, and then about the newcomer in the refugee camp. I talk a lot about refugee camp, about how unsanitary, how cruel treatments and all that. I do, but then the benefit of my family survived through was the languages, because we speak their languages, so I understand what they were doing to us. So I survived by understanding their language, and by building a rapport with them, and by not being mischievous, by being obedient, just to survive. I saw men beat to death. I saw men just get thrown in jail and get locked up without food, without water, and there's no one to even get them out. I mean, the rescue workers don't allow to live in the camp. They only come from morning to dawn, and everybody left out of the camps. Only the Thai police that that they guard and oversee the refugee in the refugee camp, and they have living authorities who oversee. They're armed. They're serious. They're not about to be played. So, but I was a kid, so I got to sneak out to find food, to foraging, to gather mushroom, to gather any kind of edible forage. That's how we survive. And because food wasn't fresh and it wasn't healthy, it was not enough. So we survived. It's very difficult. If anybody ever went through, camp, just like what the Nazis did to the Jewish people, and who else did Stalin did to the Jewish people, all this persecution, all those genocide, and different scale of cruelty. It's just like the magnitude of cruelty, well, killing human in millions. It's like, how do you do that? But it happened. It marked in the history how the Hitler did, how I don't want to mention a lot of country, but I know a lot of country who did awful stuff. Start with the slavery, start with the coup. Start with the genocide, start with ethnic cleansing. It's a human history where we have to deal with all kind of cruelty. It's just like it starts from the bib. Look at all the Israelites, how they were subdued to the Egyptians and turn them into slavery, building all those great pyramids. I don't know. Angkor Wat was built from the hand of slavery. They never specified that, but from the beginning of time, Grayman, if you're Christian, you know what I'm talking about. All those Israelites, they got themselves taken to bondage for centuries until what? If you read about Moses, he was delivered to deliver him from the bondage and cross over the Red Sea. So we are the descendants of those tribal people. If you're Christian, you know about the 12 tribal. But if you're not, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But I got to learn a little bit about the descendant of those 12 tribal, the Jacob and Abrahams and Ephraim's, you have to find out and trace back what tribe you came from, and then you begin to understand why you behave in a certain way, because we all behave according to the emotion code that you inherit from your tribal. If you're from Abraham, you're from Isaac, you're from Jacob, you're from Ephraim, you're from Manasseh, whatever those tribals are, your behavior derived from those tribal, because God already already separate you guys. Us, already classify us, He already know by the skin color, by the color of our hair, color of our eyes, He designed it all. It's not by incident. So if you're Christian, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, then it's hard to understand. And you won't understand neither. You think, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. It's nonsensical. No, it's not. You got to read the whole Bible. But then some of the stuff in the Bibles are modified, so you can't even really tell whether it's done by human or done by God. Anything that human touch is never perfect. But God make it perfect. But human, minute that they started working or something, is already like modified to fit the lifestyle. Same thing for modern. Yeah, so you do. I believe that. Yes, Ephraim's. I'm an Ephraim's. So as Ephraim, that those tribal people travel through the region of Asia. A lot of Asian folk are Ephraim's. What are you then? Are you Jacob, Abraham's? What are you? Did you find out what tribal you're from? The 12 tribe of Israel? Some people say, no, I'm not Israel. Well, we do. We came from that same branch, Adam and Eve. Okay. We were separated after the fall of Babylons, when trying to build that great building so they can reach heaven. And God said, I'm done with your shenanigan. You do not get to heaven by building canal or building ladder. You don't get to heaven that way. No. So human those days really challenged God, and those days God was very close to human at the time. Now he's more kinder. We just know that. He's kinder to us. Those days he you know, he unalive our ancestors if they if they bound to make mistake or bound to become disobedient. He said, down. You down. But then there's so many things happen those days. And then within this maybe 2,000 years, if they record it right, down from Garden of Eden down to here. We don't know how many years Adam and Eve walked in that garden. It may have been millions of years because they found out, scientifically they said that Earth existed over billion of years. So I don't know how long Adam and Eve walked in that garden. There's no time. It's timeless in that time until they're like, oh, God said, Adam, well, I married you to Eve. Oh, why don't you guys make children? Oh, what's wrong? Well, I don't know. Maybe Adam is not handsome or Eve. Yeah, I don't know. She's not pretty enough. I don't know what happened in the Garden of Eden. Just know that they didn't make kids in the garden until they got kicked out. And then yeah, Abel's and Seth and everybody else came from the same root. Where the incest happened first. Adam and Eve were married by God, and then he had his children, his two sons, and he had daughter, and then fixed the daughter to the brother, and the brother and the brother and sister produced kids, and the kid married kid, and then it's kind of branch out a little bit. Now the cousin, the second cousin, the third cousin, the fourth cousin, until because Adam lived to be about 1,000 years. It's one day heaven, because after they partaking of forbidden fruit, they said that he would die. So he lived to be 100 years old. Those days, I think everything must be organic. So he lived to be 100. I don't know. I can't remember. Like Abraham, he lived to be almost about 1,000 years too. 100 years too. Those people live long time because God needed them to reproduce. And lead His people. It's so interesting because Bible said so much, and the scientific said, nah, we came from apes and all that. No, we may have the same intelligence. Maybe we are not. We are not from, because if you believe you're Christian, we are not. Or you are. It's a child. Is this one of the tribal that they said that went missing? Isaac. Oh no, I know that one of the tribal that went missing. They cannot trace back. I don't know which ethnic it is, but then Ephraim is very prominent. People from the East Asia or from the Asia. I know a lot of Caucasian probably from the Isaac or from Jacob. I know that's what they said, but no, it's not. Because as we can tell that in 6 days, the Lord, uh, the, the Lord, the Lord formed us from His own image. He didn't say that I formed you guy from the monkey. He didn't say that. No. But you can argue all you want. You have your own entitlement. You have your own belief. You have your own argument. I'm not going to argue with you, but I'll just go what God word is. I had no reason to argue with Him. I don't want to be struck. Because if you read the book of Genesis, exactly that, He made human out of His own image. And I came from Adam ribs, from Eve, the daughter of God, and Adam, the son of God, So then, no, He didn't say that we came from the subspecies. No, we have dominion over the monkey, the ape, the cow, and the fowl in the air, the fish in the ocean, and all the walk of life we have dominion over. There's no other species that has dominion over Can you hear now? No? That's too bad. Okay. But anyway, oh, now good. So I just remember to like click the speaker a couple times to get it back on. Oh, thank you. Thank you all. So I was checking in because I didn't get chance to do live today because my family don't like to be on camera. You know how they are. They said that they don't want to be seen by people from 7-Eleven. I heard the conversation, so I'm like, okay, I got it. You only did tell me once, so I couldn't do live around my family because So I have to wait for everybody to go to bed, so no one in the kitchen, in the bathroom, anything like that, so I can do my live. But I didn't cook today because I cooked earlier. I couldn't do live because my family is around. So I went to the temple. I have family around, so I couldn't do there. So the whole day I couldn't do any videos. The good thing today I got to meet this little baby who was born about months ago. Belonged to my sister's son. So they have brand new baby. So she's beautiful, and she visited with us. And my mom, who is the great grandmother, got to meet her great grandchild. So that's the child of her grandson. So we have my mom generation, my generation, their father generation. So there are 4 generations in my family. And my mom is fortunate. So today I told her that because my mom she's a wonderful woman, but she doesn't know how to enjoy little kids. She get annoying quick. So then when the grandchildren in school say, "Oh, too quiet, no one is here. Oh, too quiet for me." So and then now when the grandkids are around, say, "Oh, they're too noisy." So let the kid visit. They don't get to see their cousin for sometimes the whole year, sometimes more than a whole year. They've gotten to play, and let them enjoy themselves. It's going to be only a day or two, then just enjoy them. I enjoyed it. I mean, they chase each other, they run, they hurt each other. They run to each other, and it's like bleeding nose, bleeding lip. And they're fine. They're cousin. They be fine. So I just tell my mom, learn to enjoy being around your great grandkids. Then you won't have to complain about them making too much noise or no one here to make noise. Okay, balance it. Enjoy it. I enjoyed it. It don't bother me. I enjoyed it. Cause that I'm a nanny, so I'm good with kids. In fact, when when my sweetheart friend visited him, they had this baby. She's only 17 months old. Beautiful baby, very smart, very hyperactive. And I think I didn't mention her name, but I think I mentioned the event where after we had a dinner, she came out. She wanted to go upstairs. I took her to the second floor, but she wanted to go to the third floor. But we got called in. Our table was ready, so we ate, and she was like so rigid. She's hyperactive. She can't sit down. And I know the mom was irritated because it's in public place. So she handed her the little phone. So she watched her little show. She was content. She's happy. She's focusing. No, her world is shut now. She's like focusing, and all quiet, all beautiful, cutie. So after dinner, she ate though. She ate good food. She chewed, but the chicken was too tough. She kept chewing that one piece of chicken, and she like chew on her sheep, like so cute. So after dinner, we came out. We came out early because Dad needed to take a puff, and then she wanted to go back on the. So when the parents said no, she literally threw herself on the cement, kicking and doing a little thing, and the mother, someone to her husband said, "Go get your daughter." He tried, but he said, "Nah." She didn't want to come with him. So I went over and said, "Can I take her?" I went over and picked her up, and then she came to me. I carried her to the car, and she was all happy again. And then when they drop us off at home, and she wanted to come with me, and her mom said, "No, we're dropping her off. She's not coming with us." And I think she threw the biggest fist when she can come out. And it was like I didn't hear that because she started crying when I left the car, and I didn't want to look back. Um, so my son, that kid want to come with us. I said, I know, because sometimes kids feel it, when when you when you confronted the small kid.
sometimes they so overwhelmed with stranger. I'm a stranger. I never met the baby before, and they were saying, "Oh no," They're like, "Oh, they withdrew," But then she was not like that. She was like she met her uncle. She talked to him on the phone before and FaceTime, so she knew him. So when she saw him, she make herself at home. She haven't met me, but then it take her a little bit to get easy to me. So I feel like sometimes kids have those intuition where they feel safe around adult. There's certain energy that kid pick from adult, that whether adult are trusted or not. I think they have that intuition, which is super cool. So yeah, it was a great experience with a young lady. And she know that I'm a nanny, so I had cute little kid that I take care of 4 days a week, and sometimes my mom pick up early, sometimes she have to stay late to close the clinic, then she be a little later. But she started to bond, and to the point where when her mom come up and said, "Hi, sweetheart," she was like, and she didn't want to go home anymore. And it's gonna get harder when the time where she still want to go home. So I said, okay, relax, go home with your mom. She like, she. So when her mom put in the car seat, she keep looking. I said, so each time when she leaving, so I make sure that she coming back. I said, I'll see you tomorrow. Just have fun with your family. Okay, talking. I think she understood that. So, but I got to learn that she getting really, really attached. You know, and her dad, when he dropped her off in the morning, said, yeah, she's smiling now because she saw you. So it's a little disappointment, though he's being sarcastic in a way, but I feel that, well, don't be jealous if the kid adapt and adopt to certain environment, to certain people. They don't just adopt and adapt to anybody. They have to be that person that they connected with. Sometimes the kid don't get around along with the grandparents because grandparents, yeah, they too old, or the kid too young. So they can feel that too because they can't talk. Just like dog and cat, they bark at the person that they feel threatened. So just like in my family, there's certain the kids that the family that used to hurt dog or cat, they know. If you kick them one time, you scream at them one time, they know. They will not be friendly. They be barking. They even can feel, they can hear the engine coming to the house, start barking. So, what are you barking at? And sure enough, like minutes later, the car pulling in. So I know, oh, okay, your favorite person is home. So not just kids, animals have those instincts, have those uh, pheromone. No, it's not pheromone. It's the instinct. It's the intuition. The same thing with the kids. So it's a nice experience. Like I said, I have 6 children, and I have a lot of patience. I run out patience with my kids also. I mean, though I'm not the best person, but I think I got gang up too. By my own kids. They outnumber me. There's time where they sneak out and want to be with the boyfriend or the girlfriend or with their classmate, and they they don't want to tell. They just want to like go have fun and come home, and there's no repercussions. Like everything fine and dandy, honey. No. So now they talk about it. Oh yeah, being mean. So you really, and me being mean because when I said do not leave out of town or do not go where it's not safe, it's being mean. Yeah, it was kind of. It's kind of okay, from being mean to like kind of okay. Yeah, but we gang on you. We gang up on you. I know. There's like 4 or 5 of you. You're gang up on me. I'm the only mom, and there's outnumber of you. So yeah, you gang up on me now. You try to blame me. No, I don't. I want to take blame. I mean, you do wrong too, not just me. So don't expect me to apologize all my life. I apologize one. I remember next time I'll record it, so I remember that I already apologized. Whatever offended you, I apologize. And I don't remember all that bad stuff. I don't try to remember it. I want to live my life. I want to forget what happened then, where I was, so I can live my life. Just like Graven was saying that, go on. But the narcissists don't, though. They want to like keep blaming. They want to like blame people for things that happened to their life. Until they decide that, blaming is not the answer. Blaming is not the way it heals. Blaming is not the way to grow up. Same thing, shit happened to me more than once, so I'm still alive to talk about it. Let's go. Let's move on. Let's do not waste the time, because you never know if any of us will like wake up tomorrow. So let's be nice. That's what I remember. Always remember. That's what I trying to teach myself, to remember that live like you have no tomorrow. Okay, don't dwell on the resentment. Don't dwell on other people's pain or pleasure. You live your life like you don't have tomorrow. Make it right, and it'll be better. People around you will be better also. Gotta heal. But some people don't say, "Now it's never gonna heal. You did that to me so badly. It embedded. Same thing. It embedded me too. I didn't forget all of it, but I don't remember everything. I mean, I don't want to remember everything. If I do, I'll be crazy. And I don't want to be crazy. I want to be happy and live my life. I live over half century already, so century is 100 home. Yeah. So if I live another half a century, I'll be in Guinness Book Record, for being the oldest living Asian woman. But though, the people in Japan who eat good, they eat a lot of plant-based. They live over 100. I think the last record was like a lady who lived in a small village and lived like 126 years. That's like my grandma who lived to be 125. So that's my grandma didn't reach the world record but it reached the world record in my family. I said, yay, if I live to be 100, I'll be like, thank you, Lord. But then how do we do that? You start like clean all the mess in our back, all those baggage that you carry, dropped it, drown it, put it in the ocean, let it sail away. Let pick up a new chapter in life, move on, stop the resentment, forgive people. You don't have to forget, but you can forgive, and then just live a day where you think that you won't have tomorrow, and just start a new chapter and start a new life, start a brand new attitude. And that's what I learned to do. I mean, despite of who hurt me and put me in shitty situation, I got out of it. Shoot, you gotta get out. If you know that you are drowning and you're gonna stay and get drowned, no, I will try to surfacing myself so I won't get drowned. And I fear of being drowned, so no, I won't go to the deep water because I know I get drowned. I won't know how to swim. That was something that traumatized me. I got drowned before. Exactly. Great when people, I mean, the people in our family, that we love dearly, and then sometimes they just said they don't know how, because you caused it. I can't get out of it. It is true, but then I wish that everybody would see things that I see, believe things that I believe, because we are all different. So it's like, well, we're not like you, with that attitude, we're not like you. That's why I said if all people are like good people, sense making people, we don't have people who get locked up, people who walk out there and hurt other people because they're all different. But you don't have to be all crazily different. I mean, we came from the same They're not Christian, so don't believe all that stuff. I'll be preaching to the wrong choir, so it's like, we are not Christian. Okay, then learn what Buddhists teach then, because according to the Buddhism, you're creating karma. Well, I don't believe in karma, and I don't know what you believe in, because you're not Christian. If you said you're Buddhism, you don't believe in karma, then even you're not Christian, even you're not Buddhism, karma is real. Stop building them, because karma is just like your shadow. It's gonna follow you. My friend used to years ago. My friend was just joking with me. They said, "Vana, that centuries ago, karma does not catch up quickly. Karma would like take a slow step. They said that you have to die to get to the next life to get your karma repaid. But this new modern day karma does not take vacation or take a break. Okay, he'll be right there at the doorstep. You do some wrong, you do some wrongdoing, he will get on you so quick before you can say the word amen. Yeah, I believe you. That's why I don't want to build no karma with anybody, because karma will be like behind you. I'm like, stay away from me. I don't want to build no karma. But then until we realize that, we as human, we make mistakes. Stop blaming, stop pointing fingers, stop being the narcissist, stop being the witness all the time, be leverage where you can be approachable, where you can be teachable, where you can be lovable, where you can be forgivable. Don't be like God yourself, don't rise about Christ, because Christ, do you know that Christ forgive people who kill him? Uh, he did, huh? He said, God, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Of course they do. They hung him. They crucify him. They know what they're doing. They whip him to the head. But then Christ make it soft. He smoothed the transitions. He said, it's okay, forgive him. And then if you get punched on your left cheek and let them punch on another cheek, I'm like, how to do that? I I did feel that too, because I got punched many times in high school, so I learned to punch back. And I got punched too many punches in my relationship. I learned to punch back. So minute I learned to punch back, it's like, oh, you're so mean. So, really? And all the time you punch me for 10, 15 years and you're not mean? Hello? Registered narcissist. It's only good when you do that to me. When I started fighting back and said I'm a mean woman, so no, bye. Go to the other side of the sun and don't come back. And that's what I did to my ex. He was exiled. So he's in Cambodia. He's with a new girl, some kids, and he tried to reach me on Facebook. I said, the FBI is still looking for you. The thing you did to your ex-girlfriend, they're still looking for you. Do not be on Facebook, because I don't want FBI to come back and say, go get your ex-husband. I said, no, you go get your ex-con. I'm no longer related to him. He had 2 shit of drop blood that I take care of. Other than that, leave him there. He can die and bury where he's at right now. Do not send me there to get him. You got enough manpower, go get him. You want him, then go get him. You get paid to do that. So I will pay you. I said, nope. You want him, go get him. They literally, they said, we'll pay you. I said, no. When the bounty hunter came to my house, he said, you go get your husband at a time. We'll pay you. I said, no. I don't care how much money. It's better that he's on the other side. So he can abuse me or any woman's around this country. He can go abuse the cow over there. He get kicked. So the FBI and the bounty hunter is that, here is our card. If you ever be ready to help us, no, I will not going to be ready. You want him? Go get him. I don't even know Cambodia, where he's at in Cambodia. So when he was surfacing on Facebook on another name, was that, FBI just like the eyes of the pineapple. They're everywhere. If you want them to be at your front door, you go ahead. But don't be talking to me or my kids on my Facebook or their Facebook. They don't want to talk to you. They don't even know who you are. You left them when they was only babies, so don't try to talk to the kids because they don't know who you are. So be happy in Cambodia. Build your future in Cambodia. Don't ever come back because you can never come back. Not in this lifetime. No, you're gone. Funny story, right? It's funny now and talk about it. Before it was painful. It was traumatic. And now I can talk about it. I don't care. I talk about it. I talk about people who hurt me. It's not wrong. It's okay because for a lot of people, you have to pay to shrink for the session so you can talk about it. I can talk to you about it because it's my story. I'm not I'm not damning anybody, I'm talking about my own story. Yeah, I exiled back to Cambodia. The reason I exiled him to Cambodia because he come and begged me at my feet and told me that he does not want to get uh, what you call it, indict and go to jail. I said, well, then go to Cambodia then. But they gonna export you anyway. What you call it? Um, what's the word? Deport, export good, deport human. They're gonna deport you anyway because you're not citizen. He never gonna become citizenship for the shit he did. So I said, well, how do I do that? Well, you get some money from your ex-girlfriend, so whatever is left from your gambling habit, then buy the ticket. And he got one-way ticket. We drove him to San Francisco airport. He watched him go through the TSA, and I don't think he ever come back again. He never come back again. Yeah, yeah. He got excited, and then he didn't show up for court date in Fresno. So from Fresno to Stockton is 2 hour drive. So sure enough, the bounty hunter came first, turned my apartment upside down, and want to know where the guide is. I tell him he went to Cambodia. And he left the day before court date. Before he, if he went to court, he wouldn't be able to leave the country. But he left before in the indictment. So not only that, the city police came and looked for him also. And I said, no, he's not here. I said, well, whose shoe is that? Because you said no man lived in this. It's his shoe. You want his shoe, you take it. You know. And he had some sweater, he had some clothes in the closet, in the kid closet. You can have it too. Because he volunteered himself into my apartment. I used to have an apartment that's not occupied because I live with my parents, but I have my own apartment. So he moved in with his girlfriend because his girlfriend moved to live with me because they wanted me to support and help him. So I did. I brought her to live with me, and then he followed her. And with the phone, he has the little chip. So that's where they found out where he's at. But then he left before they came because he didn't show up for court. So the bounty hunter came for because somebody had put a bail on the properties, and he didn't show up for court. So about the bail process when they have to put the collaterals like the fancy house, a fancy car. When you don't show up for court, then you get in trouble with the bellman. So then the bounty hunter came out, looked for him, and we got a nice conversation. They said, we'll give you money, go get your husband. You don't help us? Nope. And so why do you keep his girlfriend here? So that's a different story. She's a victim of domestic violence, so I'm helping her, I'm saving her. So why do you save her? Because she is your husband's mistress. So it don't matter. She's still a human to me, And then, well, you're a nice woman, so I am. So why don't we do this? And we give you money, buy your plane ticket, and go get your husband to come back so he can face the court. So nope. So the bounty hunter is like, So after my house was raided twice, so the last time I told the PDs that don't come back again and look for this man. I already told you guys that he already left the country. They didn't believe me, so I talked to the captain. They apologized because they really come out and they raid through your apartment like a bug. They don't have no respect. But I work closely with the police department. I tell them, do not come back to my apartment and do this shit to my apartment. I already told you guys, I already told the bounty hunter that he already left the country. He said, all right, we're sorry, we're not gonna come back again. Just stay away, you know. So they did, so they didn't come back. And like 2 times I got raped by the bounty hunter and the Stockton PD, you know, after he left the country. But then he still appeared on the FBI Most Wanted. I took the snapshot of it. It's so cute, along with other uh, desperados. I call them desperados, like those those bad guy that wanted by the marshal, so in the old movie, with the musket and all. So then I told the guy that don't be surfacing on the internet, because you still wanted by FBI, though, they don't want you back in the country, but they still have to prosecute you for the crime that he imposed on me and the girl that he had a relationship with when I was married to him. Now he's gone, he's happy. I'm happy he's not because he can't come back. It's safer for me. Simple. I mean, that's karma. That's his karma. I didn't cause it. He imposed upon himself. So it's it's a loss. It's not for me though. I didn't lose anything. I lost bad people in my life, which is a plus for me. So that's why I said, when you're involved in a domestic relationship, you recognize it, get out, because it does not get better. He or she can promise you and make it like, through the honeymoon phases and go through that cycle of abuse over and over again. It never quit. It gets crazier, because before the children, it was nice. After the children, then the time spent with the spouse is less, attention is less, you work more, time at home is not rewarding, and the contention rise, and the children and all that. So, and that's why I said having kid in a relationship is great if you have like person that want a family, that believe in a family, believe in building a family, believe in building good relationship. There's no perfect person, but married to somebody who want to be in a good relationship, want to have a family, then you're good. But if you believe someone who want just to play, just a player, then don't decide to have kid right away. Wait maybe 6 months to a year to 2 years and find out if this person really is a real person, that he's stable and that he's not hiding anything under the rug or in the closet. Because 6 to a year, you will find out what kind of spot a person, whether it's a leopard or the cheetah or whether any kind of spots, it'll come out. Okay? It will come out. And if you too hurry because you want to secure a relationship by having a baby, by engagement, by marriage, oh no. If marriage is constituted by the hand of God and men and women honor it, it won't be a divorce. Believe me. Okay. Change the subject. What do you want to talk about? It's already past midnight, so maybe sleeping time. No sound. Okay. Anyway, very nice. Like I said, once you find a soulmate who have the same common decency, the same belief, not probably not same belief, the same goal, the same vision in having good family. And the family is the foundations of aspect in life. And then yeah, you build upon that solid goal or solid foundation, and then you have the family. But if you're not ready for commitment, then don't get into commitment, because you won't get a commitment. It will be just like casual relationship where the price of pay is, the repercussion is, the price to pay for is, it just disappointment. It just despondence. It's no rewarding. And then jump from one relationship to the next, and you found yourself jumping from one relationship to the next relationship because we're looking for that perfect person, which is, I have not met anybody who's perfect yet. A person who make them sound like they're perfect, but it's no, I'm not perfect. I'm crazy as heck when I have to deal with certain things. Other than that, I'm an okay person. I'm a nice, loving, kind person until that person make me come out of my niceness, and then yeah, I don't have to be nice all the time. It depends on what situation we're in, right? Anyway, so I check in with all you guys. You guys doing good. You're conversing with me, so you guys doing good. 2 years before marriage, I agree. I mean, yeah, don't rush, okay? If it meant to be, it will be. If it's not meant to be, it will be gone. It take one to know one. Always follow the instinct. Always be smart. Do not afraid of lose somebody. If you're afraid of losing somebody, and that's the worst fear. This is where you like, okay, we gotta get engaged, we gotta get married, we gotta have babies so that we tie, we bond, we 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 bondage, not bond. Bond is when people love each other and that they can do everything to keep each other. That's called bonding. Bondage is when you put yourself in a situation where you have no freedom, you have no future, but fear of losing somebody. That's the worst bondage ever. It's more than Israelite being captive by the hand of enemies. It's it's simple, okay? So if love is real, if the person meant to be, he won't go anywhere. If he genuinely love or care for you, he's not gonna go anywhere. He's gonna wait for you. He's gonna be there, thick and thin, just like they said at the, matrimony, like until death take us apart, or until death do us apart. But a lot of times didn't wait till death take us apart. It's just like divorce take us apart because we can get along, because that honeymoon phase faded. So the honeymoon phases don't last. No, it never happened. It was like infatuation. Infatuations is like the honeymoon phase. It's just like you drink a cup of coffee or a cup of honey tea in, put the honey in, you drink the whole cup, and then you want more honey, and then put some more in it. I mean, what you do, So you cannot find a perfect person, but you can mold a person to be a better person. That depends on how he or she being treated. If you treat kindness with kindness, the kindness will come out of a person. If you treat a person like shitty, the shitty will come out of the person. It's right. No, I haven't found one perfect person yet. Not in this life, probably not. Never. But then you don't have to perfect it. You can be a decent person. That's all required. If you're not ready for commitment, don't. Relationship is a wonderful thing. It's a complicated thing. But you don't have to make it complicated. The reason it's complicated because people make it complicated. Just like the job. The job is not complicated. People you work with make it complicated. People who are managing it, people who coordinate it, the executive director or co-worker, they make it complicated. Job is never complicated. Anybody can be trained to do any kind of job. People are trained to go to the moon. I mean, as simple as that. Okay, I'm getting tired. I'm going home tomorrow. Well, it's gonna be a long sleep for me. Sometimes when I came, I didn't want to fall asleep because I trust my driver, but I wanted to. like I wanted to drive on the road that I drove so that it bring memory. I mean, Route 99. It's the route that I drove through all the time, Southern Cal, Northern Cal. And so I wanted to see the orchards. I wanted to see the green pastures. I wanted to see the cow field, and the peach trees and the vineyard. And so I took one strong espresso, so it kept me awake, and I didn't sleep for a while. I woke up early to cook, and then I still stay awake until now. So I'm pretty darn tired. I might just well like sleep like a baby on the couch back there. So it was nice to be with family. It's bittersweet, to visit my brother's gravesite. He was cremated, but my my niece had purchased a little burial plot for him. So they deposit his remains under earth, and yeah, we'll have. Well, to get to Las Vegas, we drove. It's about 8 hour drive. It's about 580 miles. So if you multiply that by, if you do the equations of 65 miles, 75 miles, so it took about good 7.5 hours without stop. So for me, it took me 10 hours because I like to enjoy, driving. Because I drove from when I moved to Las Vegas, I drove on a rental by myself. So it took me a little while, because I I love driving. I took one shot of espresso, and that it's keep me awake. The nicotine will keep, not nicotine, the caffeine. I've never been on nicotine like smoking, but the caffeine will keep me awake. That's what I do when I study my final and stuff like that to stay awake. So I take one shot of espresso, and that will keep me awake until the next day. So it was so it took me about 10 hours. My kid put me on the Google search, Google Drive thing. So they watch me talk. Well, how come it take you so long when we drove? It only take us like 6, 7 hours. So, well, you guys speeding. I did not speed. Okay, I'm just like I'm just want to see the hill. I want to count the trees. I want to see the apple blossom. So that's why I drive like that. So like, oh my, that sounds like my mom to me, old fashioned. Anyway, so tomorrow I might take a short nap, and then, but I don't want to miss the green, because Stockton is a farm agriculture's community. So 99 I-5, it's like you have to drive through orchards. The only city that we drove through would be, the biggest city would be Fresno. You can't see much from freeway. And then Modesto, Fresno, Colingas, and then Maderas, and there's nothing to see but cow dungs, or the farm agriculture's communities, agriculture communities, and then drove through that hills on Pasadena, and the rest of the time will be Boston, where it's nothing but dead rock, and then cactus, and then after that will be the nothing but dead rock. So the only city would be Pasadena, but we're not going through the big city. We kind of like, there's a split like this. One that go through Los Angeles would be big city, and then San Diego and the big city. But we're not going through it. We like did that left turn, will take us through Boston, which is terrain. It's nothing but terrain plants, which is nothing but cactus and those dreadful looking palm trees. They never get watered, but they're still alive. I wonder how. But they live, I mean, the tumbleweed that live through desert. And then that's it, small town, small. That's why I drove by myself. I was so scared driving through Boston because it's isolated city. It's not a small city. It was like 2 hour drive through it, and then I make sure that my tank is full because I don't want to be stuck, in the desert, and then it's only one or two. I don't know. To me, it's like two gas station. Yeah, and I was afraid to even pull into isolated gas station. I heard crazy story, and then I started to remember some of the crazy story through like isolated little town. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about some of those cowboy movie. Like crazy. But anyway, it's so much fun being here on Sunday with you guys. So you have a good Sabbath day. I'm gonna take a short nap before my niece said that we'll leave about 7 a.m. here. So 7, if we leave here by 7, so normally she like her Starbucks and all that. She want to go get her drink. We'll say about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. We have to return the car by 6. So we'll probably get to Las Vegas. I will say the latest is 4, if there is no traffic. But I know that traffic people like to come back to Las Vegas after a weekend vacation, or people driving out from Las Vegas. They don't interfere because we not travel the same direction. So typically, it's not too bad until past Boston, where the people from Southern Cal conjoin in one freeway, and then we'll probably where the freeway merging freeway, and then there'll be a little traffic there. It depends on how many cars are traveling in the same route or same direction. All right, so I've been on here long enough. Checking on your guy, you're doing good. I appreciate that. Good night, Grayman, for being on here. You're such a good follower. I appreciate that. Yeah, you too. Okay. Much love and respect, and all of you too. And TikTok people, thank you for the heart. Thank you for following me, and for the subscriptions and the like and the thumb up. I appreciate that. I owe to all you guys. Good night. Okay. Sleep well. Until I see you again next time, we'll be in Las Vegas. Okay. We'll do some holiday cooking or holiday cookies when I get home. Good night to all of you.